Usually, when we hear this gospel passage, we center our attention on the unbelief of St. Thomas and how that resonates somehow with us, how difficult it is so often to believe. But I would direct your attention today to the first word that Jesus, when he rises from the dead and shows himself to his disciples, he says, "Peace be with you." He says it 3 times in the course of this short passage. Peace be with you. On the night before he died, Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives, do I give you my peace." There is such a thing as a false peace. We see that in the world all the time. The prophet Jeremiah once said to the people of Israel, you cry peace, peace, and there is no peace. Because your peace is the worldly kind. It's being mixed up in worldly affairs and collaborating with an enemy who has invaded your country. The peace of God and the peace that comes to us in Christ is the peace of mercy, of compassion, and of love. In Jesus, as in many human beings, that's first of all a kind of self-possession, an inner peace that shows itself in his relations with the world. Think of Pilate. He is completely at peace. He is completely without any kind of agitation. Everybody in that room is on trial except Jesus. He stands there in the full possession of his own self, in full possession of the peace that God has given him. So Jesus says to us, his disciples, "Peace is my gift to you." The peace of Christ is what he gives to us, his people. Peace sometimes is won at a very hard price. It's not difficult it is difficult. It's not easy to be at peace. Sometimes we have to face great challenges in our lives, near and far. Is it possible to be at peace if you open the daily newspaper or get your news from TV, which I don't recommend? But is it possible to be at peace when you read what's going on in the world, in our own country? Sometimes the only reasonable reaction is rage. But the peace of Christ takes that into consideration, also balances it with the inner security, the inner sense that God is with us. And that peace of God given to us in Christ is his great gift to us, and enables us, if we reach out and take the gift, to deal with ourselves and with the world around us. We do need to reach out and accept the gift. Everything that comes from God is gift. God freely overwhelms us. He pours from within himself the riches of his grace, his mercy. But we do have to reach out and take it. The old-fashioned theological way of saying that is that we have to cooperate with grace. Well, cooperation is not exactly the right idea. It's a return. It's an acceptance and a return of love in a kind of mutual cycle that goes from God to us and back to him and to one another. We said in the opening prayer, God calls us into a community. In this community, we share that peace with one another by the things that we do that show our compassion and our concern for others. So the gift of God that comes to us in the risen Christ is his peace. It's not easy to maintain that peace, but we need to look inside ourselves and realize that that peace is really there, and allow that peace to guide us in our actions and to flow out of us into other people that we meet. Just as Jesus came after his resurrection and gave his peace to his disciples, He gives it to all of us, today, here and now, and in every day of our lives. In our celebration of this Holy Eucharist, before we receive Holy Communion, we extend a sign of peace to one another. When we do that today, think about it more explicitly. That what we are sharing is not just goodwill, good feeling. It's the divine gift of peace that has come to us from Christ that we share with one another. And it's that gift that we share, for which we give thanks in this celebration.